Vicky Evans.
And I'm Tegan Binns.
And welcome to the Boom Tunes podcast. Alright, so welcome to episode 1. This is going to be a monthly podcast talking mainly about live music, but we'll also talk about the culture around music. So we'll talk your ears off for about half hour, 45 minutes, and then we'll go through to the Cathy Show, who will be interviewing multiple people, both on their highlights music moments of 2022 and their most romantic song memories, as today we are going to be merging January's show, which was going to be a rundown of our best shows of 2022, and then we were going to talk about Valentine's Day with it being February now, and we'll be listing our 5 underrated love songs and 5 overrated first dance songs. Do you want to introduce yourself
fine.
first,
So
Tegan?
I did music in college and high school. I've always really been into music. Let's have a look. So genres vary. I'll listen to basically anything. I don't mind what it is. In terms of music at the minute, I'm listening to Rammstein, Very Angry, Very German. The top 3 albums I probably would say Humbug by the Arctic Monkeys, Spark by Enter Shikari, and Sempiternal by Bring the Horizon, because I'm an emo at heart. In terms of podcast, I just sort of want to get an opinion out there. There's not a lot of people in the alternative scene that do stuff like this, so I feel like there's a big gap in the market, and sort of would be good to get a conversation going, like a Kickstarter sort of thing.
Right, and I'm Vicky, and I come from quite a musical family on my dad's side. My favourite band is McFly, and you'll find listening to this podcast I don't really shut up about them. But yeah, I also listen to any genre. I do focus more around rock. That's what I've grown up listening to. You know, one of my earliest memories was listening to the Black Parade album in my dad's car. I did music through school, through college, and now I'm doing music journalism at university. I write for a couple of blogs, and my favourite albums are Sounds Good, Feels Good, 5 Seconds of Summer, which is not very rock, and Fearless Vampire Killers, Unbreakable Hearts. Yeah, shall we get started?
So I only went to 3 last year, I believe, and none of them were really particularly bad. So I don't have like a favourite or an unfavourite.
Shall we just talk about those 3 then? And then, I mean, I know one of ours is going to overlap because we went together, but
yeah, that's absolutely fine. So I saw Stone last year. I think that was the beginning of the year. We were introduced to them by Sith Youngblood, actually. They were a supporting act for Youngblood. They're like a small Liverpool band, but they were so good that we were like, we have to see these again. And I feel like that's a rarity. You don't really fall in love with a support act of a band that you go to see and go, oh, actually, these are really good. I'm going to listen to these. They're still quite small. They're not very big. I think it was like a social club. We went to see them in Leeds. It was like a council estate sort of cul-de-sac type place. It was so strange, but it was a really good venue, really small, sort of like a pub gig. I don't remember much about the support acts. I think they were just standard pub gig. They were all originals, no covers. I don't think that I feel awful for saying this, but there was nothing that really stands out that makes me remember any of them without actually Googling and saying, oh, that's who we saw. They're just so good. The atmosphere that they bring. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, was that a cat?
It was a cat. I knew something like that was going to happen. Oh dear. So yeah, the atmosphere they bring, the songs, it's so refreshing to see. I'm stuck in my ways. I'm a very old school. I listen to the bands that I were grown up on. I don't stray away from bands that I don't really know. And it's such a rarity for me to actually like a new band and follow it through and then go and follow them and go and see them live. But they're just so good. I would definitely recommend them if no one knows who they are.
It's quite
Um,
interesting that you've said nobody really like takes on the opening act, because one of the future episodes I've got planned is talking about opening acts that
I really,
we like, because there's quite a
yeah,
few that I've gone to see and opening acts been
yeah.
better than the actual artist.
Yeah, I think for me, it's either a case of we go see a band and the opening act is someone that we already like or follow. For example, we're going to see Youngblood next week,
Yeah,
and Neck Deep are his support acts, and we already know them, we already like them. We're not mega fans, but we know quite a few of the songs. It's probably like a band we would go and see individually anyway, or it's a band we've never heard of, and we're like, they're okay.
yeah,
We'll not really listen to them, but they're okay as a support act. But no, for me personally, I don't really follow support acts. Like, it's very strange. It's very strange. I don't know if it's a personal thing or, like you said, you've found. I know you've said there's a lot of support acts that you've been to see
yeah.
because they're really good afterwards. But no, Stone's a rarity for us, and they are really good. The next one was Green Day, the Hella Mega Tour. That was
Yep.
so good. That
Oh
was a big
no.
stadium gig, so complete opposite of a pub gig. I think I've only ever been to one other stadium gig. That was Muse in
What about the one
Manchester.
we went to?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the other one. Yeah, the other one. The one we're saving for later to talk about because it overlaps. However, shh, don't ruin my vibe.
All right, sorry. I'll stay hush.
um, very big. I think with bigger gigs, especially in the alternative scene, it sort of worries me because you can never gauge how good the crowd is going to be, especially considering that there was Weezer and Fall Out Boy. So it was like a mix of three different, what do they call it, fan bases. Um, but the crowd was actually really good. The lines were horrendously long, but we weren't waiting in them for that long in the grand scheme of things. It went like hours, but the crowds were really good. We did the most horriblest thing you can do at a gig. We actually had friends that we were meeting up with that were right at the front of the stage. So we pushed, we did, it was horrible, but we didn't push that much. To say that there was a lot of people, there weren't a big crowd right at the front. Don't know if it's because obviously Green Day went on first and people were waiting at the back and then going to push forward after. But again, good crowd. No one really complained at us. We were genuinely going to meet friends. We weren't just trying to push to barrier. But we didn't. We did end up. I think there were like 2 rows in front of us
Oh,
that were stage. We were very close for them.
you're rubbing salt in the wound.
No, I feel so bad.
So, for those listening, I had tickets and I did get there in queue, and then the person that I'd bought the tickets from called me up and said that it turns out that site is a scam site. And then the day after, they messaged me and they were like, "You're gonna kill us." But it wasn't a scam site, they just sent us different tickets and we hadn't, like, it had gone straight to spam and they hadn't picked it up. So I could have gone and I didn't.
It's fine. There's other opportunities. Well, that boy are touring soon as well, and I'm sure we will come back.
It was Weezer and Green Day I wanted.
See, I was really surprised. This takes me on nicely actually because Weezer were
Yeah,
the first on, I believe. It's not that I'm not a fan of Weezer. I know Weezer songs,
yeah,
but I'm not a mega fan like you. I don't listen to them regularly.
yeah.
It was literally going in blind. I did not know what to expect. I never watched any clips of them live or anything. They were really good. It were a really good balance of sort of like staging. The staging were really good. They had sort of the Weezer logo at the top that were lit up, and there were quite good backdrops to the songs. Um, they're an older band. They know what they're doing. They were really good for someone that's never seen them before and doesn't
Yeah.
actively listen to them a lot. They were really good. I really enjoyed them. Go to see them again.
Did they have
Um,
good like crowd interaction and fun
yes,
with each
yes,
other on stage?
yeah, they all did. Rivers were really good. Where the stage was, there was, you know how they do like the little T shape. There's like a little
Yeah.
like landing area. We were really close to that, and I'm gonna have to send you the pictures. They're so good. Rivers, he were basically crowd diving, crowd surfing, with his guitar. It was so weird to be that close. It's that fangirling aspect of, oh
Yeah.
my god, this is a celebrity. This is a very famous person. I'm this close to them. But no, they were really good with each other. The
That's good.
communication they all had. It feels very brief, but again, I don't really know a lot about them. I've never seen any of their other shows to compare them to. I think they did some of the newer songs, but again, the crowd are really good, really interactive. The crowd really liked them. I really
Yeah.
liked them. So, Fall Out Boy were next. I've seen Fall Out Boy before. Again, Emo at Heart. I love them so much.
I would like
Um,
to see them. I've not heard anything good about them being live though, but
yeah, I think they're a strange band because the front person isn't the singer. Pete Wentz does do a lot of the talking. Patrick is still that shy sort of.
is it?
But I
Oh,
like that because I was like that in college. That's what I did.
yeah,
I got everyone else to speak apart from me. But it's nice to see because they sort of break that mold of the lead person is the front person is the singer. Not
yeah,
necessarily. It doesn't always work like that. He's got an amazing voice in him. He's an amazing musician, but
yeah.
is not that confident. I mean, he did talk. I think he spoke more at the Hella Mega than he did when we saw them. 2017, I want to say.
Ooh,
Very long time ago. Um, but to compare the two shows, they were pretty good. Obviously, stadium gig compared to an arena show, it's
yeah.
different. I think there was a part where Pete Wentz's bass was on fire.
Oh,
Love pyros. I love pyros in shows. The piano was on fire at one point as well.
on
Um,
purpose?
yes, yeah, not
Right.
not unintentionally. There were no fire hazards. All done
Could just imagine Pete Wentz just like running around like, what do we do? What do I do?
professionally. No, it were a really good balance as well because to say I'm a really big Fall Out Boy fan. I didn't really get into Mania, the newer stuff. I
Right.
think the last album that I really got into was American Beauty, American Psycho. That is a banging album. Um, but the Mania album, I know a few. There's a few that's familiar, but I didn't really sort of listen to it back to front and know it off by heart,
Mm,
sort of thing. But they did like a really nice balance of some of the older stuff that they would have played when they were an upcoming younger band,
yeah.
um, to obviously the newer stuff, which is what I like. I know there's a lot of bands that they'll do album tours, which I get. They'll play a lot of the newer songs. Obviously, it's new, it's fresh, but especially considering if the album's sort of newly released and you go and see them and you're sort of stood there and you're like, I don't know this song. It's so awkward. But
What do
yeah,
you think of the songs they're releasing at the minute?
I really like it. It sort of, a lot of people said, oh, it's old Fall Out Boy. It brings me back to American Beauty, American Psycho. That
Yeah.
is a really underrated album. It's such a good album.
I've really
Um,
enjoyed them.
and I feel like that's sort of the level that they're going at the minute.
Mm,
The songs that they've released, I've really liked. I've not listened to it and gone, it's okay, sort of like I did with Mania.
yeah.
Um, but no, I really enjoy them. I feel like the new album's a good one to look out for.
Yeah.
I think their sale is the 17th for the tour. So I think I'm
Alright.
going to try and get in them so we can talk about that. Hopefully.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that would be nice. Sort of a triple comparison to
Yeah.
what we're doing. But yeah, I think to round it all up, the really good set. Again, really good. They had props. I think it was mainly Mania. There were a lot of like fairy tale trees, that sort of high school drama production stage sort of trees. Um, but it was really good. Again, the backdrops, nothing really to complain about. especially seeing them before. I know a lot of people see bands and they'll see them again and they'll be like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Gotta get over that novelty of seeing one of your favourite bands for the first time. Which again brings me on to Green Day. I have also seen
Yeah.
these before.
Ah.
So I saw these quite a while ago. I don't even know when this was. I want to say this was like 2016. God, time moves fast. I feel so old.
No, I'm older than you.
I know, only by a year, it's fine.
It's a year closer to death. No, it doesn't sound it.
Only a year, it matters, it matters. Green Day were really good. Of course they are. They are the staples in rock, the big band. I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't at least know who they are.
Yeah.
Um,
Everyone seems to like Green Day.
Very classic.
Yeah.
Again, a band that I've always been into, a band that I was brought up listening to. To see them one time was amazing, but the second time, especially in a stadium, I feel like stadiums just bring such a different atmosphere with it being open, and then you've got like
Yeah.
the weather. Again, the crowd was really good for Green Day, which surprised me because I know especially a lot of the older rock bands can have sort of a bit of a horrible, pushy, mosh pitty
Yeah.
sort of crowd, but they were really good. They start the show with the iconic Pink Rabbit.
Right.
I think I'm 100% sure it's Billy. And say I'm a hardcore Green Day fan, this is probably common knowledge. Common knowledge? Column knowledge? What am I saying?
Column knowledge.
Column knowledge.
Love the knowledge of the columns.
Yes. So the Pink Bunny comes out, does a big sort of crowd hype thing, and then goes back, and then the band come out, they start playing. Again, the backdrop were amazing, pyros. We were really close. That was such an amazing experience. The set list again was so good. To say it was, I'm not sure if it was an album tour. Not sure if it was the Father of All tour. I'm not 100% sure. But they barely played any of the newer songs from the album.
Yeah.
I have a conspiracy theory about this.
All right.
So the new album, the Father of All album, was okay. I feel like especially when bands get older, they're sort of forced to produce music to keep on the record label for the contracts.
Yeah.
And this is what I think that happened with the Father of All. It felt very half done. The hearts weren't in it. It weren't a very passionate album like the other stuff.
Oh.
I feel like it was just produced for contractual duties. It was a good album, don't get me wrong, very good listen, but also it just felt like they weren't in it, and the fact that they didn't play not a lot of stuff, they might have played one or two, I'm not 100% sure, it was so long ago. I say so long ago, it was last year. A year makes a difference.
Yeah.
Slept since then. Yeah, the fact that they didn't play many songs, if any songs at all, from that album sort of solidifies that it was a contractual album. There weren't a lot of media around it either. Which
No, I say I've not actually heard of it.
yeah,
So.
yeah. I think I pre-ordered the album to get the tickets. As you do.
Well, I did that once and I didn't actually get the link for the tickets.
Yeah, I think it's a bit hit and miss with stuff like that. Like, yeah. The new Arctic Monkeys album I did pre-order because I will pre-order every album they will ever create, whether or not it's good. But you also got like stuff in that you could get album bundles, which I sort of wanted. So obviously I did that as well as to get the tickets because I knew that there's a big fan base. They're going to sell out almost immediately.
Yeah.
But then there's quite a few like Pierce the Veil next year. Not bought their album, not pre-ordered it, and I just sort of got the tickets. I was like, I'll just try and get the tickets. If I don't get them, I don't get them. This is tangenty and off topic, but there is
That's fine.
a really good resale. I think the resale tickets are so good, especially with all the ticket touting stuff, which I know we're talking about later. The resale, the way that they do resale now and how common it is, I think it's such a good thing, because we've bought tickets to gigs and we've gone,
Yeah.
actually, we don't feel well, or actually, we don't really want to go, we've got other plans. It's just as easy as going on your Ticketmaster app, not not monetized, not
Not sponsored.
not sponsored. That's the word. Not yet. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Literally just going on the app, finding your tickets, and clicking the resale button. That's it. So, no, resale is really good. I get quite a lot of my tickets resale actually. But
I got 5 sauce on resale, which we're going to talk about later.
yeah, we'll not delve too much into the resale and the tickets, because I know it's a later thing. But yeah, Green Day, they were really good. The only thing negative that I have to say about Green Day, and even at all of the gigs that I went to last year, it's not really a negative thing, but you can tell they're getting older compared to the first gig that I saw. It was only a couple of years difference, but they're an older band. They don't have that energy to be going round, running around, doing crazy stuff for what, 2.5 hours, however long the set is.
Yeah.
And it weren't disappointing at all. It was still a very good show, very high energy, but sort of on that critique view of pointing it towards the first time we saw them, you can definitely tell the sort of getting on a little bit. I don't think they're going to stop touring anytime soon, because it's Green Day, you know.
Definitely know how to stop.
Yeah, exactly. But they're definitely getting older and slowing down. It's definitely noticeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like very brief, but that's all positive for me. I can't really pick out a favourite.
Good.
Oh, we didn't talk about the last one actually. I'm saying that's all. I'm trying to round
That's
it
all.
up and wrap it up, but we have one more. Me and Vicky both went to see Harry Styles last year.
Yes.
Um,
That's one of my top ones.
yes, and I know, again, I think it's going to be interesting to see the comparison between us, because I was very heavily anti One Direction in my teen years, and I know you was a very...
I was anti One Direction until about being 16.
Yeah.
And then it's just like something flicked in my brain and
Wait a second, actually.
became obsessed.
So I sort of a similar thing. I was very anti them, but I weren't obsessed.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that point. I was just sort of like, you know what? They're good. People like them. There's a reason people like them. But Harry Styles, for me, is a very good artist. He's sort of paving the way. He's sort of very, very old school in that you're sort of comparing to Bowie, for example, the outfits, the stage
Very easy
mannerisms.
comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also paving the way for sort of what pop is now. I'm not a big pop fan. It's not that I don't dislike pop. I'm very picky with pop, because I feel like a lot of it is sampled.
Yeah.
It's all stuff that someone else has written. Whereas obviously with him having his background in One Direction songwriting, a lot of his stuff is produced by himself, which I really like. It feels more genuine.
Yeah.
But yeah, Harry Styles was a recent sort of liking for me. I think Fine Line is where I started. I think it was, to be fair, I think it was like the
his
year
second
after.
album.
Yeah, the second album. I think it weren't as it was released. I think it was a couple of months up to a year after it was released. I was like, oh, this is actually very good. But no, I really like him. He seems like a good guy. Not that we know people. You know, people have a presence on stage and on media. He could be the shittest guy ever, for all we know.
Well, we never know, do we?
You never know, but the advocacy that he has for like the LGBT community,
He seems very grateful.
yeah, he knows
That's what
his
I
role.
like.
Yeah, he started on a talent show, and look at him now. You know, his world touring, selling out arenas, is very humble.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, sort of another thing, going in blind. I'd never been to a Harry Styles show before. I didn't know what to expect. It was so good. It was so refreshing. Again, another stadium show. It was a very nice, mild sort of day. the atmosphere when he started and sort of the nightfall sort of comes in and it all ties in really nicely. It was a very good gig and I enjoyed it. For someone who would class themselves as an alternative, sort of more rocky listener, it was really refreshing to go to a pop gig and not be put off by the crowd as well.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people there. Did we accidentally get upgraded?
I think we might have.
Yeah, because
We weren't in the inner circle, but there was like a middle circle
yeah,
that we kind of just walked into.
yeah, and they gave us bands as well, didn't they? Because they didn't really check
Yeah.
the tickets once we got inside, which they were doing for the inner circle, golden circle sort of thing. So I feel like we did accidentally get upgraded, which I'm not complaining about because we were
Yeah.
relatively close, to be fair.
Yeah, got some good pictures, didn't we?
Yeah, but no, it was my biggest worry for that show was the crowd.
Mm.
Obviously, never going to a Harry Styles show before and knowing that some crowds can be. I'm not bashing his fan base, by the way.
No, I think the fan base is part of his issues.
Yeah, I feel like with media, especially TikTok as well,
Yeah.
when artists sort of blow up, you get a lot of people, not fake fans as such, but you get a lot of young fans that have never been to a show before or they don't
Yeah.
know show etiquette, quote unquote.
It's really
Sort
funny you
of-
say that. I was talking to Matt, my partner, about that the other night. Since COVID, everyone, like this new generation, don't know show etiquette
the
anymore.
etiquette, yeah. So obviously this is again going off on a tangent, not Harry Styles related, but we saw
Yeah.
the 1975 recently. I think it's either the fourth or the fifth time we would have seen them. Really like them.
Yeah.
Whether or not people like them or dislike them, that's opinion, preference. We've seen them a good few times. I have not had one bad show of theirs. Every show has been top notch, very artistic. I feel like they're like Marmite when you go to see them. You either like the shows that they put on and get it,
Mm.
because they are very artsy, very metaphor, eating raw steak on stage,
Yeah, he's a
um,
weird dude.
yeah, he's very strange. Everything's a statement, I think.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
probably.
but they blew up on TikTok very recently with the new album, and the show that we went to was amazing, but the crowd absolutely horrible. I was on crutches at that time, which I probably shouldn't have gone to a standing show on crutches, but I did. Oh dear.
Oh god.
And it's not that people weren't polite. The staff were amazing. They were all, if you need to sit down, come grab one of us. Not pushy, but sort of very mindful. They're like,
Yeah,
if you need help, we're here. But
that's
the
good.
crowd was very young,
Mm.
and I feel like because it's 90% female based as well,
Yeah.
you're likely to get pushed. Obviously, I was with my partner Harry and my sister Maddie,
Yeah.
and they are very tall humans. I'm not. I'm not very endowed in the height department, but they are very tall, and I was sort of in the middle. They were either side. We still got pushed. People were very pushy. People were very rude. Not even the whole spiel of, oh, my friends are at the front, I'm gonna go to the front, I'm not being rude. People were just genuinely pushing for pushing's sake,
Oh
and
god.
it was a shame because it was a really good gig. It didn't entirely ruin it,
Mm.
but again, that was a no. That was something that I was very worried for Harry Styles, but it was, I feel like the layout of the circles was good.
Yeah, there was a lot of space.
Yeah, a lot of space, yeah, because the circles, obviously the tickets are going to be of different prices when you're standing.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you want to go standing, but you're worried and you sort of maybe not in an able body to be in a space that's going to be pushy and shovey, you can
Mm.
get the cheaper tickets, sort of dip to the back, still have a good time in your own space. But no, the space was nice. I thought it was going to be, especially considering how long that the queues were.
Yeah.
And again, not knowing and the fan base and worrying about that, but the space was very nice. The show was so good. The fact that he's so good to his bandmates as well. You don't get a lot
Yeah.
of solo artists that keep the same band. And the fact that he makes a point of including women. You don't see a lot of women in support bands.
No, not really, do you?
No. You can take that one of two ways. I feel like people, if they're sort of nitpicking, will go, oh, he's only picking women because they're women. I know a lot of people have said that he queer baits as well.
Mm.
And people can tie that into it, like, oh, he's just doing it to seem like he's an advocate, but he's not. But he's got such a good relationship with his band, and
Yeah.
that's really good as well. You don't get a lot of solo artists that have that sort of online media presence of they are really good friends with the band. A lot of them are just hired in the play, and then that's
Yeah.
it. But no, that's really good and really refreshing. I didn't know as many songs as you did, obviously, not being an avid follower then. I am now, I would say, but then not so much. The set lists were really good. Oh god, Matilda made me cry just a tiny bit.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. I love that at gigs though, as weird as it is, the emotional songs and you feel it in the crowd and
Yeah, there's
everyone's
no
sort of
better
feeling
than sobbing your eyes out at a gig.
exactly. Everyone's there for the same thing. Everyone's crying for the
Yeah.
same thing.
And
It,
then they're all there for you as well, aren't they?
yeah, it was very, very supportive.
I
Again,
think
no
we
one
should.
were.
Sorry, you finish your point.
Oh, I was just gonna say again, no one were rude. Everyone, it was such a nice, very chilled.
Well,
Well,
apart from that last that was like stood in front of me, there was like that main character
oh yeah.
lass. There was like
Um,
a French lady in front of me,
I'd forgotten about that.
and she just kept stepping back and back and back, and I had no room. It was quite poorly ran, and I think that's on the stadium because we were there, like stood by 3:30. It
Yes,
didn't start until 7:30, and then all the lasses were in the big go-go boots, so everyone was laying down. And then this lass in front of me was like flicking me with her hair all the time, and you
yeah.
know, she was trying to get to the front.
Yeah. I mean, that was going to be a point.
Yeah,
Very tangenty. But
yeah,
the waiting standing times, because I
yeah.
think the doors opened at 3.
They did.
And I get why they did it because it was
A
the
lot of
cricket
people.
grounds, and they don't
Yeah,
actually have any capacity for queuing because they're not a concert grounds
yeah,
as to say. So that I think that's why they said that they did open the gates so early to allow people well enough time to get in. But
yeah.
I think with the way that the stadium was set out with the circles, they didn't need that much time,
Nah,
really. Um, and it bothers me that shows don't start earlier sometimes. Like we were stood for a good 3.5 hours,
more than that.
more than that maybe. Were it?
It's if we were stood by 3:30 and it started at 7:30,
Oh God,
it's 4 hours in it.
yeah, it was a long
Yeah,
time. Especially considering if you move to go get a drink and something to
yeah.
eat, you're gonna lose your place.
I mean,
Um,
eventually we would just went to the back of the circle, which is when we
yeah,
started enjoying ourselves.
yeah,
Because as everyone pushed towards the barrier, and that left so much space at the back.
yeah. And I think sometimes you can see better from a little bit further back. Like, yeah, you're not as close
Yeah.
to the stage, but you can actually see the entire stage rather than just one tiny bit.
Well, you've not
Um,
got 2 dozen heads in front of you, have you?
exactly. I forgot to mention Mitski as well. I
Ah,
love Mitski, obsessed with Mitski. She blew up on TikTok quite recently as well.
yeah,
Um, she's sort of one of those that's quite a closeted artist, I'd say. Not a lot of people know her, not a lot of people know music. She is an American artist, but she's so good. One of her songs were actually on Adventure Time. That's how I first started listening to her.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was Marceline did a cover of it, which is really funny. But yeah, Mitski, her show, she went to like an art school in America.
you can tell
Um,
if you see her live.
yes, she's very theatrical, very, I
Yeah.
think you said Stevie Nicks, very Stevie Nicks.
My comparison to her is her from Bob's Burgers, um, that plays the piano, the artist, and she's got that oil spill song
Yeah.
that's all a metaphor for her lady
Yeah, she's
parts.
very metaphor-y. Not that
Yeah,
the songs are too complex and you can't understand them, but
yeah. And
not.
if you can't, then her dance moves gives it away.
Yeah, exactly. But she's so lovely, so good. She was very
Yeah,
humble and thankful for Harry as well.
she does. She
Um,
seems very sweet.
yeah. Again, it's sort of the interaction with the crowd people might nitpick on, but I
Yeah,
think sometimes with bands, if you've got the balance there of the theatrics, the show, how good that she was to put on that show. She did speak to the crowd, but obviously she didn't go on massively long tangent monologue
yeah,
about life and politics like some bands do, which isn't a bad thing, but it didn't suit her. Her sort of
yeah,
muted, I'm going to play, I'm going to put on a show, it's going to be theatrical, it's going to have a meaning. If you don't get it, you don't get it, but this is what it is. She was very good. I like Mitski quite a lot.
I quite liked her.
Very good.
Very good. Are we on to mine now?
Yes, I'll let you take over.
That's all right. Feel free to interrupt me like I interrupted you. Um, so yeah, Harry Styles was one of my first ones. It was my first stadium show, first Harry Styles show, and yeah, it was very, very good. Apart from people having to stand around for hours and that lass in front of me that just, I think she just didn't see I was alive. You know. My other two is 5 Seconds of Summer. I saw quite early in the year, and they were good. That's a lot of it's gone from my mind. um,
They thought I struggled
now, yeah,
remembering because it seems like so long ago, but in the grand scheme of things, it weren't. But
it was
then,
less than a year.
yeah, but then at the same time, it's sort of like the first gigs that you went to post COVID. But then, because I thought I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I can speak about Bring Me the Horizon, but actually that was in 2021. That was right
Mm,
after COVID, and I was like, oh, that wasn't last year.
yeah. That snuck up on me. I bought it on resale. I'd just moved out and got my first student loan, and there was resale for 50 quid, and I was like, you know what, I'm getting it.
Good old
And I,
student.
yeah. And I went on my own. It was the first time I've ever done something on my own, but I felt safe. Like,
Yeah,
all the crowd were like lasses about the same age with dyed hair. So it
yeah,
was, at one point in the queue, I needed to like run to Spoons for a wee, and
yeah.
the lasses around me were like, just go, we'll save you space.
Oh, that is really sweet. It does scare me going to gigs by myself. I don't think I've ever done
Yeah,
it or ever will. But I can imagine it's an experience.
it is. I recommend everyone do it at least once in their
Yeah.
life.
Sort of do it
Um,
and absorb everything by yourself without worrying where your friend is and being lost.
yeah. And then it was only them. There was no opening act. But with
Oh,
all the queuing and the travel, just before they got on, I had to change from my nice boots into my comfy shoes, which is a shame because it meant then I couldn't see because everyone in front of me was taller.
of course.
But everyone around me was nice. The people like stood to my side was like, "Do you want to like lean on me while you change your shoes?" And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Oh, that's weird that they didn't have a support though. I don't think.
Yeah,
Oh, we
yeah,
did. We saw 30 Seconds to Mars a good few years ago, and they didn't have a support, but the support cancelled last minute.
right.
But that's really strange. I don't think I've ever heard of
I think it's so you get more time.
time.
You can put on
Yeah,
more of a show, and they had like segments to their show. So they had the new stuff, and then they went into a bit of pop punk, and then they went into the hits.
yeah,
And it was really good. They're a good band
yeah.
live,
We're just
and
gonna,
they're
that
all
is such a good idea
yeah,
for like a structure of a gig. Obviously, support acts alike because they get
yeah,
the
the hype.
support. Yeah, especially because a lot of them are lesser known bands and people can
Mm.
pick them up like I did with Stone, you've done with support acts as well. But no, that's very strange. It's good but strange.
Yeah, and I had a
Hmm.
decent spot as well. I wasn't too far from front.
Where did you see him?
It was Leeds Arena.
Leeds, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Leeds Arena. Leeds is quite good. I feel like the standing's not as big as it looks for when you're seated and looking at the standing area.
No, it's not at all.
It's not very big.
You do get a bit cramped. I saw Little Mix there like 2 weeks before, and they had seats. Oh wait, no, was it like 2 weeks after? It was like a 2 week gap between Five Sauce and Little Mix, and like Little Mix had seats in the standing area.
Mm.
I think that was a bit better because people weren't as crowded, and
Yeah.
there was a bit less pushing in that. But Little Mix were completely different because everyone around me were mothers trying to force their likes onto their 3-year-olds, and
Yeah.
I don't think a 3-year-old should be at a concert, even if it's Little Mix.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. They're
too
not
loud
gonna
and too late.
remember it. Exactly. It's like taking your kid to Disneyland when they're like a year old. They're not gonna remember
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah, it's sort of like, oh, when I was 3 years old, I went to go see this really famous band, but you don't remember it. You don't have the memories from it. So
No.
better to save the money and then take them when they're a little bit older, I guess.
I
Personally.
mean, Little Mix's final for now tour,
Mm.
so maybe
Yeah.
people are traumatized by One Direction saying 18 months and it being.
Yeah. Permanently 18 months.
Yeah, it's been more time now than they actually were in a band.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was good. They played Ghost of You, and I cried.
Oh my god, like MCR.
No, 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 no.
Oh, I was just gonna say what?
Well, that's
this is this
when
is
they
how much I
released
know them.
Youngblood, and I saw Ghost of You. I was like, "Is it?" Because they are a bunch of emos, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think it's not that I dislike them. I did used to dislike them because I was like, they're basically just wanna be emos and they're just trying to be something they're not. But like, I listened to
This,
them a bit after that, and I'm like,
yeah,
they are what they are. They're quite good. I think it was one of the videos is like a direct copy of a Blink 182 video.
good girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have this. Is it a conspiracy theory? I don't know.
Ooh.
But I don't think they're recognised as an alternative band, which they are, because obviously One Direction picked them up and gave them the light.
Yeah.
But the music they produce is not that different from Paris and New All Time Low. You know, they have All Time Low, Good Charlotte, and Green Day help them
Yeah.
write.
I feel like, especially with bands, like the distinction between pop and sort of going into the alternative genres, they can
Yeah.
actually play the instruments. Hot take. A lot of
Yeah.
pop artists don't play their own instruments, or they can and don't.
Yeah.
Especially like boy bands, quote unquote. Like, I know they did in One Direction on and off. But a lot of them don't play their instruments, whereas Five Sauce
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, they definitely should be like more recognised as
Yeah.
alternative, and people are probably going to be like angry that I've said that,
Mm,
but that's my opinion.
yeah. Another tangent. Again, I feel like all I do is tangent, but
That's fine.
I
Don't
feel
worry.
like especially people that have been in the alternative scene for a long time aren't okay with people delving into the scene because they're scared of change.
Let change happen.
Yeah, like I sort of bringing MGK into it, Machine Gun Kelly. I get what people say about him. It's a bit weird,
Yep.
personal life, whatever. I do listen to his songs. Again, I wouldn't say I'm avid. If you don't want to listen to it, don't. People
Yeah.
can do what they want with the music. Like, for example, look at Enter Shikari. They were heavy metalcore, and now they're not. And they're more like Paramore. Their new album's very poppy, but they're
Yeah.
still classed as punk pop or
Well,
pop rock. They're
you
not.
know,
They're not classed as pop.
people don't like change at all.
No, absolutely not. But
No.
change is good sometimes. Change is good sometimes. I'll let you carry on.
Although, no, just slightly going back to what you said before about the new pop. Like, I was talking about this with Matt the other day as well. We talk about music a lot.
Yeah.
And it was while we were watching the Brits. there was what they're called, Wet Leg.
Yes.
Their performance, I just went off because I'd just reviewed an album that sounded just like that, but 13 tracks of it. And I was like, all pop music is just this these days, and I'm tired of it. I
Yeah.
want it to go back to old noughties pop, like
Yeah.
Mika.
Because pop is popular music, but now I feel
Yeah,
like the genre of pop is just copy, paste, sample,
yeah.
get someone else to write it. I know Tom Fletcher from McFly, to bring your favourite band back up. He does so much songwriting for newer artists.
He's written for One Direction, he's written for
Exactly.
Five Sauce, he's
There's a lot
written
of
for...
money in it, but
Yeah.
like it takes away from the authenticity of it all. And again, hot take, preference is preference, but I prefer the actual sort of personality of it all, the fact that
Yeah,
they write their own songs, getting inspiration from other people. I know Lewis Capaldi's written with Ed Sheeran.
yeah,
I know he did some songs with Matty Healy from 1975.
yeah,
Getting inspiration, working with artists, other singer-songwriters is completely different to being an artist that just sings and doesn't write or produce
yeah.
your own music. In
I mean,
especially today where
yeah,
you can buy Logic Pro or GarageBand.
Audacity.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And obviously not everyone has the capabilities of doing that, but I feel like a lot of pop artists at the minute are people that are already in privileged backgrounds, which again is another hot take.
yeah, we need that rise of working class again, don't we?
Yes, we do. What happened to good old pulp?
Let the poor people write music.
Yes.
But no, I agree. And I don't mind artists having a team of songwriters with them,
Yeah.
because if you had to write 10 songs for a certain amount of time and make them good, it's not an easy
Yeah,
job.
it's difficult. I prefer people to write their own songs, but as someone, I probably won't class myself as a musician now because I haven't picked up any form of instrument in so long. But someone who used to be in bands, who did original stuff with bands, it's difficult. I never wrote any of the songs. The band did. I had an input in that, but it was all original stuff from the band. But it is difficult on the flip side of
Yeah,
you should write your own songs. It is difficult to write your own songs, especially
yeah.
if you've got no knowledge of theory and you're just really into music.
I say I wrote a song, but I only wrote the lyrics for it in college. The music part was mainly my friend, who is also called Matt. Um,
So many Mats.
and there's ten a penny. I mean, in creative writing society in uni, there's like 7. I'm not even joking.
God.
They don't all show up at once,
Stop
luckily, but
naming your children Matthew.
exactly. Let's have a ban of Matthews. um, what was I saying? Yeah, we wrote this song. I say I wrote it, but it was I just did the lyrics. But honestly, if you listen to it, it's the
Yeah.
McFly song you will ever find.
There's different
It's
aspects to songwriting, though, isn't there? There's the
yeah,
actual backing, then there's the lyrics and
yeah,
putting it together. And I feel like, especially in solo artists who don't have that band of people with the knowledge to do
yeah.
stuff, it does take a team to do it.
It
But
does.
also, you can sprinkle your own like self into it. You don't have to buy other people's songs.
Yeah.
You can try make it your own.
I am gonna send you as a couple of TikToks as well, because what you were saying about sampling, I've had a couple show up lately about the amount of sampling Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco
Oh
do.
yeah, I know. I think I've seen the Panic
Yeah,
one. The Panic one's so bad,
yeah.
so bad.
Fall Out Boy are just as guilty.
Yeah.
Um,
Brendan Urie isn't in Fallout Boy though, so we can shove that under the carpet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, it's their fault to split up. Again,
Yeah.
conspiracy theory. We should just be a conspiracy theory music podcast.
Yeah.
Stop with the opinions. Just be conspiracies.
Welcome to the Boop Conspiracy Podcast. I'm not getting rid of Boop.
That's
That's my brand,
that's the brand.
right? Since I started streaming on Twitch, in 2020. That's me, right? That I've not done in like 6 months, but you know. Anyway, yeah, McFly, the final one. Let's see, let's get my notes on it.
Ooh, was that the race course?
It was the race course,
Oh,
yeah.
I work up the road from there. It's a good little race course.
It is a good little race course.
I'm
Now, we're
doxing
not getting
myself
into
here.
politics of, horse racing, whether
Yeah,
it's right or wrong. But it was a good day. I got to
yeah.
get all dressed up in my strawberry outfit, and
It's such a cute outfit.
I've got like every style of strawberry dress going. And then obviously spend the day looking at horses. The first two races we didn't put a bet on, and I was like, just because where we stood right so we'd have front row. And that was also where they walked the horses down into the ring.
Ah,
So as
right.
horses passed, I was like, that's the winner. And the first two shows I was right.
But
And
then
then,
that's the one that you bet on.
yeah, and then we bet on one. And we didn't really know how betting worked, so we bet like just to win, not to place.
Yeah.
And then the horse came second. And so then we stopped. We stopped betting then.
Yeah, gambling's confusing.
Yeah. And then McFly came on, and McFly are always a good show. I've seen them about 7, 8 times now.
I think I've only seen McBusted.
Yeah.
But even so, it was still really good.
Yeah.
The corny old boy band, true to the roots. I do love them.
Silly
I
boys.
underrate how
That's
much.
what they are.
Yes.
And, the joke with each other, the joke with the fans. One of the funny, kind of ironic things is Tom came on, he was like, I've not put sun cream on today. And so Danny had to put sun cream on him. And he was like, make sure you've put sun cream on, guys. I hadn't, and I burnt. And the dress I was wearing had like a sheer sleeve, but with strawberry patterns on it. So I had red arms with strawberry shapes in for like 3 weeks. My chest was like almost 2nd-degree burnt. I'm not even joking there. It took forever to heal. It still goes red now. Sorry?
Bring sun cream to gigs, guys. If you take
Yeah.
anything away, sun
Look
cream.
after yourselves. He then said, make sure you've stayed hydrated.
Oh, God.
I hadn't. I had a couple bottles of water, and I had a Pepsi that was just in the sun, the direct sun all day, so it went really warm, and I didn't want to drink gross warm Pepsi. And I got a bit of heat stroke as a result of both of them. So we were at the front, and I was like fighting to stay at the front. Some people were trying to push, and I was like, I've been here all day, I've burnt, I'm
dehydrated.
I will fight for this. I will die for this. I've been a fan of them from the start, and I was like, this is my day, not yours. And then we got to the encore. There were 2 songs left. All About You, 5 Colours in a Hair. Halfway through All About You, I had to turn to Matt, and I was like, we have to go. I'm gonna be sick. So we had to leave then.
Yeah.
But it was a good day. It was a good time. Would do it again. I've said, when I got home, if there's a place I'm gonna die, a McFly show's not the worst place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you'd get recognition from the band then.
All attention is good attention.
You're passing the word.
I'm seeing them again in June, I think.
Yes, I know. I'm going to look at getting tickets because
Yeah.
I have only seen McBusted, but I also love McFly. I remember us we go way back. Me and Vicky have been friends for donkey's years.
16, 17 years now.
Being a little 9, 10-year-old kid, pre-emo days, listening to McFly. Oh, what a good time.
I remember making up dances to I'll
Yeah.
Be Okay.
The schoolyard.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh God, watching Just My Luck and
I watched that last night.
did you?
Yeah. We went on to Disney to watch Zootopia because we've been meaning to watch it for a while.
Yeah.
And then Disney popped up with the Valentine's suggestions, and
Oh
Just My
no.
Luck was on it. And I was like, Matt, it's McFly. We have to watch it.
Is it Nowhere Left to Run as well? The other one they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that like a few weeks ago.
Oh, the
The acting
nostalgia.
is so bad.
I know, it's the nostalgic sort of bittersweet. Oh, I used to love this as a kid, and you watch it and you're like, this isn't as good as I remember.
This is all CGI. Yeah, that's an outdoor venue as well.
Yeah,
I don't really like outdoor venues. But
I do. I think it depends. I feel like if it's warm, we went to Leeds Fest. It was absolutely scorching.
yeah.
But you could sort of drop back into the shade. But the other sort of venues we've been to, it's been mild, which I feel like
Yeah.
is perfect, especially when the sun's setting and
Oh,
you're playing
like
a
Harry
sad
Styles.
song and you cry.
Uh,
I'd love to go to a rainy stadium gig. When we went to music, it was very lightly spitting just as they stopped. I was like,
Ella
no, it needs to
Megator kept
rain.
stopping and starting, didn't it?
Yeah, I
I
like
just
them.
think the sound gets lost.
Yeah, it's more difficult. I feel
Yeah.
like you have to be close to the stage to enjoy the sound as well.
Yeah. Right. Shall we get on to February's podcast now?
Yes, now that we're mid-February.
That was yesterday's month's
Yes, the month.
podcast. Because we've been planning to do this podcast for ages, and then life just kept happening.
Life, the joys of being adults.
Ugh. Anyway, so how do you want to do this? Do you want to do it like, because you've done the 5 for overrated first dance songs, I've done 5 underrated love songs.
Yeah.
Shall we just go from 5 and like alternate?
Yes, yeah, we can do. I've also got 2 honourable mentions for mine because
Of course.
I'm an overworker. You know what can I say?
Go above and beyond.
But yes, that's fine. Speak
Sorry.
of the devil. It's fine. Who
Ah.
do you want to go first, or?
I can do. So, my number 5 for underrated love songs. I've recently been reminded that Harry Radford is a thing, and he was the singer in Yashin, who are quite a heavy band, and then he released a song called Gallery, like solo, and it's the most boy band thing you would ever hear. And so that's my number 5.
I've just had to Google him because I've got no clue who he is. He looks very familiar.
Well, Yashin played with FEK a couple times. I quite like them. You've probably listened to them at mine.
Yeah, most likely have.
Yeah. But yeah, I remembered he was alive, so I've been listening to that lately.
Cool.
Yeah.
Overrated wedding songs. I'm not
Yes.
a wedding connoisseur.
You are engaged, though.
I am engaged. Yes, correct.
So these are songs that won't appear at your wedding.
Absolutely not. Unfortunately for the songs, I'm not bashing the songs. I'm not saying they're bad songs, but very overrated.
Overplayed.
Overplayed.
Yeah.
So my number 5 is "Can't Help Falling in Love" by Elvis Presley, or any variety of that form.
Yep.
It's a good song. It is a good song.
It is.
But I feel like, especially with weddings now, people play it because of the meaning of the song. They're not a fan of Elvis Presley. It's not their song, you know?
Yeah, it's not personal anymore.
Especially with the 21 Pilots cover. It's a good cover. It's a good song. Again, it's a very good
What's
song.
your favourite version of it?
I would probably say the 21 Pilots one. It's the ukulele for me.
Is it?
It makes the song.
I cannot remember who sings my favourite version. It's the slow piano-y woman one.
We'll have to have a
Yeah.
Google. But yes, very overrated. Will not be at my wedding.
No, that's fair. So number 4 for my underrated love songs is "Honey" by Bobby Goldsboro, and it's an oldie. I think it was written 50s or 60s. I've got it on a little record, little single, and it's really, really sad. It tells the story of being in love and then she dies. But it's so beautiful and I can listen to
Oof,
it on repeat.
heavy.
It is, but it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 4 for overrated songs for a first dance is Your Song, by Elton John or Ellie Goulding.
mm,
Again, it's a good song.
yeah.
I'd say it's my guilty pleasure, but I'm very outward about how much I love Elton John. Someone I
I
was brought up on. My nana
yeah.
really loved him. You know, it's a very nostalgic thing for me with Elton John. But it is overrated. Very
I
overrated.
was meant to see Elton John this year,
Ah,
and because he just kept pushing it back and pushing it back, I lost my excitement, so I sold my tickets and got the McFly ones.
yeah, I don't blame you. I feel I want to go see him, but again, I don't. It's the very expensive
Yeah.
tickets.
Oh yeah, there were.
Really expensive. Sell a kidney expensive.
Yeah. It's his goodbye tour though, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the main reason I will go in, but it's just been too long for me to be excited.
yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you have to say about that?
Um, no, I feel like again it's like with the Elvis one. They're
Mm,
not massive fans of Elton. It's not not that I'm judging people for picking songs by artists they're not big fans of, but I feel like the first dance or wedding song should have meaning. It should be emotional. It should be the couple's song, you know.
yeah,
And I feel like Your Song is everyone's song in the
it
title, you
is.
know.
Yeah. So, number 3 for my underrated love songs is Louis Tomlinson's Two of Us. Louis Tomlinson, I think, is underrated in every way. I'm
Yeah.
seeing him later this year, so we can talk about that. And then Two of Us, I believe it's about his mum.
Yeah, I think it is. Or maybe
So,
his sister. Is it the recent
yeah.
one that he released?
No, it's a couple of years old now.
A couple of years. Maybe it's his mum then.
Yeah. But Donny lad, we
Donny!
love him.
Yay!
And it's just a different kind of love, in it. But everyone's
Yeah.
sort of got that love with the grief with it. And it's a really good song.
Yeah.
Louis just good in every way.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3 is Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Ah,
Again, such a good song, but for a wedding,
hmm.
really?
It's
Like,
too sad.
it makes me cry in a bad way. I can't believe when I was doing my very intelligent research, like looking through all these articles, what's a very overplayed wedding song. I have heard Iris at a wedding, and it's like maybe not as a first dance, maybe just a
Yeah,
sort of like in there as a mix. It is a good song, but it's so sad. The film that it was written for,
I
City
don't
of
know what song it was.
Angels.
Ah, right.
Oh, oh my gosh. It took me so many tries to actually finish the film because the first 5 minutes is just heart wrenching. Like they are pulling your heart out from your chest, stomping on it, and making you watch them do that. It is gut wrenching, and to have Iris as a wedding song, really, so it's just so sad.
Yeah,
It's a very sad song. It's not a loving song, in my opinion. Obviously, people have different preferences, people have different opinions, but it's not a weddingy song. I want to curl in a
no.
ball and cry when I hear it, not dance and be like, oh,
It's a
so loving.
funeral song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow, that's sad. So my number 2 is anything by McFly because McFly specialise
In the
in
what? Only number
love songs.
2? I thought that would be your number 1.
Nah. Well, I thought that people would think that,
Yeah,
so
you've got to hit them with a surprise.
curveball. But no, obviously they've got "Break Me," which is my favourite song by. They've got another song about love, which is fun.
And another
The new
one.
albums. No, that's the name of the song.
Oh.
Obviously, you've got your main ones like All About You. That's a song that I'm thinking about for my first dance if I ever get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I haven't actually put on the list, so I think you're cleared.
Oh,
You're
good.
cleared to have that. I feel
Yeah.
like maybe it should be on the list, and it's not an honourable mention.
Good.
But I feel like because it is such a cheesy love song, people steer away from actually having it at the wedding, if you know what I mean.
I don't think it's a tempo that not a tempo, like a beat that you can dance to.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not a
what's it
slow
called?
dance song.
You I forgot what it's called. You count, so you got like
Oh, yeah,
uh
BPMs.
1 2 3 1 2 3 kind of things.
Yeah.
It's not one of that. I forget what it's called. It's been ages since I've done music theory. Don't judge me.
I know. We need to get back into it. If we're going to do a podcast on music.
I know, but yeah, anything by McFly, and I'd either have All About You as my first dance, or As the World Falls Down from
Ooh.
Labyrinth.
Ooh, that is a good song. That is
Yeah.
good.
I almost put it on this, but then I was like, no, because everyone can appreciate it's a love song.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
All of Me by John Legend.
Ah, yes, I expected that.
Sorry. Again, it's a good song. I don't personally listen to it on repeat, but I
He's got a
feel
lot of
like
talent.
I've been to 2 or 3 weddings in the past few years, and it's been there at all of them.
If you watch Don't Tell the Bride, nearly everyone is either that or
Yeah.
perfect or thinking out loud.
Yeah.
When I looked at underrated love songs, when I was looking at articles, one of them said thinking out loud, and I was like, is it just?
How is that underrated though?
I know. Yeah, but for me, the most underrated love song.
Ooh, here we go, drum roll.
I'll put one in post. Uh, Da
Edit this.
Vinci. It's Da Vinci by Weezer. The
Huh.
concept of it is, yeah, her. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
Weezer love song,
Yeah.
really? But the lyrics pretty much are like, you are just too good to describe. I mean, it's probably not. It's probably someone high on drugs and imagining someone.
Yeah.
But for me, it's God. You are just so amazing. I cannot put into words. No one can. I was like, you know what? That's damn romantic.
That's really good. I feel like I'm very judgy. I'm very
Yeah.
stern with with this is overrated. It should not be at your wedding. But people have preferences, and
Yeah.
if you see a song as your song, as a love
Yeah.
song, and you want that, played at one of the biggest events that you'll probably have in your life,
Yeah.
go for it. I'm a very judgmental person, obviously. I've just said, but yeah, I feel like that's a really good take. Some songs that necessarily aren't seen
Yeah.
as love songs might be to some people. That's really good to think about, actually.
Yeah, it's all about perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
I won't have my first dance to it, but it's romantic
Yeah.
and fun.
My number 1
Yeah.
is Anything by Ed Sheeran. Just anything. And I say I'm not going to bash him.
This.
Yes, I did plan this. No, we didn't plan this. We didn't
We
plan
didn't
the.
put anything by. Sorry, carry on.
There's a few songs, and I feel like it would have been like 4 out of 5 Ed Sheeran songs. But not to bash him, but I'm going to bash him.
Do it.
I'm not a fan of his music. He's a good musician. Don't get me wrong. He's a good musician. Not my cup of tea.
No.
But I feel like just his songs are so weddingy. They're just used. Yeah. And used. And used.
Yeah.
And it gets a little bit boring, and it's again with the preference, if it's your song, it's your song.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how popular it is. If it has meaning to you, it's got meaning to you at the end of the day. But when your song is everyone's song, it sort of takes it away from the specialness of the day, if you
Yeah.
get what I mean. But again,
He wrote a love song with the intention
of
of
it
it
being a
being
wedding song.
everyone's song.
Yeah. Which he's very good at, don't get me wrong, he's got a few
Yeah.
songs that do that. But, don't know. Be unique.
I've be unique. I've gone off Ed Sheeran a little bit. I
Yeah.
like the odd song, but I feel like with his later music, he knows people are just gonna buy whatever he puts out,
So it doesn't matter, yeah. I
and he
like his
doesn't try
old
as
stuff.
hard. Yeah.
His older stuff were really good. I have a funny story about Ed Sheeran, actually.
Yeah.
We did go to see him. Two funny
You did.
stories, actually, about Ed Sheeran.
Oh.
We did go to see him. Harry's mum bought us tickets very kindly
Yeah.
to go see him. Again, not my cup of tea, but he's very good at what he does, don't get me
It
wrong.
was with the darkness, wasn't it?
It was with the darkness.
Yeah.
It's more about the darkness, but who puts the darkness with Ed Sheeran? The fact that
That's
Lewis Capaldi was the other support act as well.
so weird.
It was so weird, and the darkness in their own right are so good. They were
Yeah.
really good. Despite being out of the depth with the crowd was
Yeah.
dead. It was awkward.
But that's because you've put a band that's a completely different genre out there.
Exactly. And they didn't play the most memorable song until the end.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, we know this band. Oh,
Yeah.
they're finished. The other story is my music teacher from college, he told us a story once, so it's like a story of a story. He went to Leeds College of Music. A very good musician. He's in quite a lot. He does wedding bands, actually, come to think of it. He plays it very nicely. He's got a wedding band. He got tickets to see Ed Sheeran. I don't know if it was like with the BBC Up and Coming, you know, they do like the new artist spotlight sort of thing. And it was like one of the first times he'd ever heard of him. He weren't big. He weren't very known. He'd not released an album at that point.
Yeah.
And he went to go see him for free. He didn't have to pay. It was for free.
That's
good. He got 2 or 3 songs in and left.
Oh.
He's sort of a similar opinion. He's a good musician, but it's not for him.
Nah, that's
not
fair.
for him. There's nothing that hooks you in his songs that are like,
No.
oh my god, this song's just rattled me to my core. This is so good. But yeah, even as a new artist, my music teacher went in, sat down, and then left.
Fair enough.
But to be fair, he did that. I think he said he went to go see Bring the Horizon, and A Day to Remember were the support act. He saw A Day to Remember and then left.
Ooh.
Which, again, you know, you do what you want, but he's a very funny guy. I miss him. He's a good kid. Good kid.
Hire his band for your wedding.
You know, I've thought about that, actually. He doesn't work at the college anymore. So I'd have to, like, sort of do some CIA investigation and Facebook digging. But he was a very good teacher. He was very relatable, because he was quite a young teacher himself, but he was...
Was it the one you fancied a bit?
Shh. What if he hears this, Vicky?
Oh, no.
No, it was, because, like I said, because he was quite young and we were quite young, he was sort of down with the kids, but sort of stern in a sense that we knew that if we did anything wrong, he would absolutely go off on one. But no, he was very good. Very good. Very good teacher. Would recommend.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've got some honourable mentions that I don't want to gloss over.
Feel free.
These are very opinionated.
I think the whole list is.
Yes, of course. I keep saying this because I don't want people to listen to this and be like, wow.
You know, Sharon.
Yeah.
What
wow.
do you know?
What? It's all opinion. Just because we think something doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah, let's just mock the listeners on the first episode.
Exactly. Again. So 1,000 Years by Christina Perri is on the honourable mention. Because A&1 is an overrated and overused song for a wedding, but also as a hardcore Twilight stan, I couldn't justify putting it on the list. I really couldn't, honestly. It is a cheesy love song that's used at weddings often,
it's
but for the Twilight in me, I couldn't, because I may or may not use it at the wedding. Who knows?
And then you get cancelled because you've gone against your own
because I'm the biggest hypocrite ever.
You said this song was bad.
But you used it. My second and last honourable mention is actually a cover.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of Arctic Monkeys, if I haven't
Mhm.
made that very clear. Very big fan. Met them, very good lads.
Yeah.
The song is a cover of a very old song called Baby I'm Yours.
Right.
It's actually on the list for one of our wedding songs, not as a first dance, but just to be on there. It
On
is
the
a good
playlist,
song. It's a good song. It was a good song by the original. I can't for the life of me remember who the original's by. I feel like it's a 50s, 60s song. It's very good. It's very, very lovey dovey.
That's good.
But from the research that I was doing, apparently it's used quite a lot, which
Is it?
surprised me, which is why I didn't put it on the list, because I didn't think it would be, because you don't see or hear it a lot, really. I didn't, like, speaking to other Arctic Monkeys fans, they were like, oh, I didn't know they did this song. It's not sort of like a well listened to song of theirs, with it being a cover, but apparently, yeah, it's overrated according to the internet and multiple articles. So there we go.
Well, get them.
Yeah.
What are their credentials? Did they do GCSE music?
They did. I know. Go on. Alex did. He went to Barnsley College.
Oh, I
Barnsley
nearly
College.
went there.
Oof. I think he did English lit. I think he were going to uni to do
Ah.
literature.
Oh God, who does literature?
But unfortunately, he got very famous. So,
Yeah.
dang, dreams ruined.
Ah. For the context for that joke, Matt does English literature.
Doesn't he lecture literature as well?
Because he's a PhD student, he does seminars for first years.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah. He does tutoring as well.
Posh.
Yeah. Anything for money. That's what he does.
Don't blame him.
Just selling my partner.
But yeah, that's my list. I feel like
I love the Ed Sheeran slander. That's how to get attention. You just find a popular artist and say
them.
their shit.
This is what I'm scared to say anything bad against
No.
him. Like, this is why I'm like, I'm not bashing him, but bashes him. Like, he's a good artist, he's a good musician, but also, I really don't like him.
Yeah.
For no particular reason.
That's fine. That's fine. One of the places I write for, I don't want to say it because I think he tries to keep everyone anonymous on it.
Yeah.
I mean, at the bottom it says words by Vicky, but whatever. But he's always like, be more brutal. You're too nice with your reviews.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially if it's like Slipknot or someone, he's like, dig into them. Nothing. Like, that's what gets us our views.
Yeah.
People saying that Slipknot is shit.
Any attention is good attention.
Yeah.
I just think with the whole stan culture, people are scared, especially in media, to say quote unquote hot takes, to say they don't personally like an artist or critique them.
Hot take, metalheads don't like you criticising their favourite band.
No, absolutely not. No.
I mean, I like Slipknot, but their new album, I expected so much more.
Yeah, see, I've not listened to it. I mean, I'm really big onto Rammstein at the minute, and obviously that's a big sort of metalhead band. And I feel like, especially as a woman, if you're into music like that, they either don't believe you or absolutely shit on the bands that you do like.
Yeah.
Not to tar everyone with the same brush, but it's a struggle.
I don't wear my Metallica t-shirts at the minute.
Yeah.
One, because of men being like, name 5 songs.
Yeah.
2, because people being like, oh, you only want to be like Eddie Munson. And it's like, well, I haven't seen Stranger Things, so get you. I have seen that scene, though, I will be honest. I've seen that scene, but I don't watch Stranger Things.
No, I've not watched it either. I think I watched like the first 2 episodes of the first season multiple times.
I keep trying the first episode. I can't get past.
I feel like it takes a lot to get into it. I feel like it's good. Is this a music podcast or is this a Netflix podcast? Who knows?
This is just us chatting it for an hour.
That's fair. What we usually do anyway. We might as well make a podcast out of it.
That's how this podcast came about.
We do chat a lot.
At least once a year, if I come to you, it's either do you want to start a band or do you want to start a podcast?
Well, we've done one of those things, so maybe the next one is the other one. Who knows?
Baby, we've done 3 bands, like 2 bands together, and we never got past the first meetup.
No. I do
I don't
really
know,
want to
maybe.
get back into guitar playing at least.
I do, yeah. I was talking, I've got a friend as well, and they came to me the other day, they were like, Vicky, you want to start playing music again. I want to start playing music again. Why do we not do it together?
Exactly. I feel like when you do it as multiple people,
Yeah,
it's a little bit easier because you're sort of on the same page rather than like
yeah.
me at the minute, especially having so much time off with having surgery. I was
Mm,
like, I could just pick my guitar up and start canoodling, you know,
yeah,
having some sick riffs played. But I just couldn't be bothered. But whereas if you actually make a motive for it and you're like, right, going as a group, we're just going to jam, see where it goes, you're more likely to do it. But I'd like to. I feel like it's strange though because I've only ever been the vocalist of bands.
yeah.
And I feel like I'm in a completely different mindset. I'm a lot more confident than I was when I
Mm,
was the vocalist. So I could do it again, but I would be more inclined to play an instrument than sing. It's
yeah.
too much pressure to be the front of the stage.
Well, that's it. I've always ever been bass and drums, which nobody looks at.
Yeah.
Part of me's like, you'd love to be a singer. Go on, you could dance around like all the people you love. And then it's like, well, can I actually sing? So,
Yeah, it's always that doubt in it. I mean, again, I've been vocalist of multiple bands. That's
mm,
what I did primarily in college. And I passed, don't get me wrong, but it's always that constant doubt of, oh my god, they're just passing me because they're passing me for passing's sake.
it's a pity pass.
Yes, it's a pity pass. I'm not actually that good.
Fair, fair. We might have a Boop Tunes band then.
Yeah. The boops.
The
Vicky and
Boop.
the boops.
Vicky and the Boops. I don't know. I joke all the time that I'm gonna work my way up and have like a Graham Norton style talk show.
That would be good.
That's gonna be called The Boop.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of like music centered talk shows. I feel like this is where, not that I'm like saying we're gonna pop off, you know, but there's
Eh,
not a lot of
positive talks. What's it called? Manifest.
manifest. Let's manifest. We're going to pop
Let's
off.
manifest.
We have already popped off.
We are famous.
Yes. But no, there's a big gap in the market. I feel like, especially because obviously I'm mansplaining music journalism to you, but especially with everything being online now,
Yeah.
stuff like magazines, even articles on the internet aren't read as much. There's a big gap for it. People aren't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a case of people aren't as interested or it's not marketed enough. There's not enough content out there. People doing stuff like this, but yeah, I feel like, my opinion, there's not a lot of music journalism media out there.
Nah, and it's really easy to do journalism now, especially because of technology.
Yeah, the
You
online
know,
movement.
what we got like rammed into us in his first year was that Twitter is your best friend as a journalist. We'll change the channel and get the Cathy Show on.
Ooh, Cathy Show.
Woo. Right.
She needs a jingle as well.
She needs a jingle as well. The Cathy Show.
Doo-doo-doo.
Do 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 do.
Top tier musicians here.
Yeah. Enjoy the Cathy Show, guys.
Hello and welcome to the Cathy Show. Joining me today is singer-songwriter and aspiring DJ, Lel. Hi Lel, how are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm really well, thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. It's a pleasure to see you
Yeah.
and to speak to you. So I have a question for you, Lel.
Right.
What I want to know is, what is the musical highlight of the year so far?
Well, I've been listening a lot to Weir FM, and it's my friend's radio station. And he started it during lockdown, and it's just run and run, and it's been fantastic. It really has been keeping me company on a Saturday night.
Oh, is that when you listen to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a cheeky wine when you
Oh, I have a bit of
tune
gin.
in?
1 or 2 gins.
You've got to, haven't you?
Yeah.
Especially during lockdown now.
Well, there was a few more than that, I think, in lockdown.
So what is it about this Saturday night show that you like?
Well, the DJs run from about, I think it's about 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Through till whatever time in the morning they decide to finish.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so it's really good company, and you can just sit there and enjoy the repartee really, and the backwards and forwards, because you can WhatsApp the studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So there's like an interaction between the audience and what's happening in the studio then?
Yeah, definitely. It's really good. You feel like you're almost there in the studio, you know, somehow you're communicating. It's weird.
So it's like a Saturday night party?
Yeah, everyone's together having
I like
a party.
that.
It's like one
I'll
big
have to
family.
tune in myself.
Yeah, it's like one big party. It's like one big party, but yeah.
Do you send in song requests?
Yeah, they always play song requests.
Yeah, what songs have they played for you?
California Soul.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah.
California Soul.
Go on now.
Soul. So
I
that's
like
a good one.
it.
That's my favourite. And then Aretha Franklin,
Yeah.
The Weight.
Oh, wow, she's
I can't
amazing.
sing that one because I've not got a voice like that. I mean,
Yeah.
who has?
It's hard to touch Aretha, isn't it? She is up there.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. I'm more of a folk singer, really.
Oh, are you?
And my friend Royden,
Yeah.
who does a show from 10 to 12,
Right.
one of the late shifts, and he loves it's sort of folk music, so they do mix it up and
Oh,
play
do they?
quite a bit of folk. And if anybody wants to send any requests or sort of tapes in, he will play local artists and
Oh, yes, you
artists,
go ahead and plug it.
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Thank you, Lil.
You're
Lovely.
welcome.
Well, I hope it all goes off well for you with your
Yeah.
aspiring DJ. I can like see you'd be a very good radio DJ as well.
Oh, thank you.
And with the singing and the songwriting.
Yeah, thank you.
All the best for the future. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Today I've got with me Dan, who is from Strings Rock School. Hi Dan, how are you?
Hey, okay, how you doing, Cathy?
So can you tell me a bit more about what is Strings?
It started off as a music school, just giving guitar lessons originally. Then we kind of built that into giving drum lessons and bass lessons, and we put little bands together now. We've got probably 5 or 6 bands. We started taking them out, gigging a little bit. We started putting shows on, like at the Witchwood we played twice. We've done a big summer festival, the Cheshire Cheese. And then we just kind of developed into doing music now, so we're doing live music, sorry. So we're doing these shows at the pubs where we take 3 bands with us. Each band gets about half an hour, 40 minutes. It's just for bands that don't really have their own instruments or their own gear, or
Oh, that's
it's
brilliant.
just a way for them to get out and just do, because it's a lot of work to organise your own gig, especially if you're a kid.
Yeah, it
No one's going to
is.
listen to you, no one takes you seriously.
Yeah.
So it's just giving them the experience. It's just basically we just want like a one-stop shop for musicians. You can come into Strings, pick an instrument, whatever you want to learn. We'll teach you how to play it, put it in a band, send you out gigging, do record it, and just see where it takes you.
It's a wonderful concept. And how did it come about?
I used to work somewhere else, another music school. It was kind of doing other stuff as well. They never really took the lessons seriously. They were just a way to pay the bills for other stuff. And they had so many great students there, and they all wanted to be in bands. And saying, "Do you know anyone who's in a band?" Or I don't know. I just couldn't sort anything out. So eventually, I ended up just thinking I can move on and do it myself, and took it from there.
So how old are the students then, Dan?
All ages. We've got our youngest band, I think, is someone who's 6-year-old in there. I think that's between 6 and 10-year-olds.
Wow.
They played at Witchwood a couple of times. We're going to take them to a couple of pubs, just so they can have a quick 10 minutes at the beginning just to get the experience. Then we've got bands all the way up to adults. I don't really want to say their ages, but
Yeah.
older people, yeah. It's any age, any people. As long as you love music, you can be, we'll help you out and do something with you.
So it's like Tameside's very own School of Rock then, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully. We just want to. There's there's so many creative people and amazing people here, but if everyone just kind of gets stuck in the home now and just don't really communicate, don't really meet people, and we have a great little community here where people just, I love it because people we've never met before, I see them like each other's posts on Facebook.
Oh.
They only know each other because of strings, or and there's some real good friendships have been made here, and we have parties and all kinds of stuff. So
it's a proper community.
People together.
Yeah,
it's great.
So where are you based then? Because I said Tameside, but have you got like actual premises?
Yeah, we're based in Ashton-under-Lyne on Wood Street.
Yeah.
It's at the back of Domino's Pizza.
Yeah.
And we've been here for about 7 years now. I think 6-7 years.
Oh, that's
so
fab.
Yeah, look, we've got 2 floors, so downstairs studio and an upstairs studio. But this is the main one we're in now.
Well, that's good. I mean, I live in Ashton-under-Lyne myself, and as I know, it's like it's not a very rich area, is it at all? It's traditional working class, and it's it's had its problems like with poverty and that. So the fact that there's a space where kids and people really into music, but like you said, haven't got their own instruments, can come along and actually like express themselves creatively and develop the skills. That's just amazing. I love it. So what have been the musical highlights of last year then?
Of last year, for the last 5 years, it's kind of 5-6 years, it's just been me doing this on my own. I've had a couple of people working here part-time, but last year we got some more permanent staff in this time and a business partner.
Yeah.
So that's been able to get us like a singing tutor. We've got a choir now, which I love it. We've got a choir and
that's brilliant.
In there. I'll go out around old folks' homes and things like that.
Oh, that's great.
We've got a drum tutor now, so that helps us put bands together quicker. So we've got another 4 bands we kind of put together over the next few months.
Yeah.
So it's just all been, it's just so many little small wins and just things like that. It's hard to narrow anything down.
I know.
We played a thing called Cheese Fest, which was a festival of Cheshire cheese. I think a few hundred people turned up to that. We had a bouncy castle and everything, just a great day. I think we played the Witchwood twice. We had a Halloween special where everyone came dressed up in Halloween costumes.
Oh, and it's a good venue, the Witchwood. Cool. Yeah, it's got
it was so cool watching. Oh God, sorry.
I'll just say it's just got a great history, hasn't it, for live music in our area.
I love it. Yeah, it's just I played there when I was younger.
Yeah.
I was in my teenage years, and that to us was like the Evian Arena. You played the Witchwood. You'd made it.
You'd made it, hadn't you?
Yeah.
And you went on there a little bit about like some of the plans that you've got. What are your hopes for the future then of Strings?
Just to keep growing, really, getting more people involved in music and just seeing where it takes us. Because we do have a plan and we do try and grow things, but there's so many opportunities out there. You don't know what comes along. So the live music thing was something we never really thought of doing. It kind of just took us by surprise, and now we love doing it, and it's something we're kind of building on. So it's anything to do with music. We're going to look into it and kind of give people the opportunity, really.
Yeah, I definitely support that. And there's a great live music scene, isn't there? Saddleworth and Tameside, Manchester. It's known for it, isn't it? So yeah, get out there.
Fantastic.
You've got
there's so many potential.
Yeah. You got a great concept there, and when I seen it live myself, I was blown away. I've not enjoyed myself that much at live music because it's freshing. It was refreshing. It was and I don't know. I just felt that like that magic in the air, if you like. You know what I mean? I do think you're gonna have some bigger success stories come out of Strings. I really do. Got really good vibes about you.
It's getting there. We've got a few gone to BIM Music College. I think one of them's going to Leeds University soon.
Yeah.
We had Oliver who played at the Billy Goat. I taught him when he was a teenager, and now he's just finished university doing a songwriting course.
Oh, that's fab.
And he's looking like he's quite well known around Tameside, and big things are here. So just exciting times. So yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Everyone will get a success story who comes and achieve whatever they want to achieve with the music.
Well, I wish you all the best, and I look forward to the next gig.
Yeah, we're hoping to be doing them all around the Tameside every Saturday. We're looking to get them out there and
Well, I'll be
just get
plugging you.
people to know about it.
I'll be plugging you.
Fantastic, yeah.
Like tonight at the Astley Arms, because they do live music. They have an open mic night.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they'll let you know.
Yeah, pass that
Yeah.
on, good, and,
I will do.
definitely be interested in that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that do live music will be up for coming round.
Well, thanks, Dan. Thanks for speaking to me today. And
No, it's been brilliant.
I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much, Cathy. Cheers.
Thank you very much. This is the first time that I've ever done anything like this. I'm very opinionated and very judgy, as we've found out. But yeah, thank you for listening and listening to our opinions, whether or not we agree or not.
Have you had a good time?
I have had a good time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To say it's barely been scripted.
It's not scripted at all.
Not scripted at all. I've got the notes of the wedding songs and then literally just the bands I saw last year because I could not for the life of me remember. So to say it's been not scripted or barely scripted it's very fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Very tangenty, but that's fine.
I just like that we've not started like recording and just been like, so music.
But yeah, it's been very fun. I'm very looking forward to doing it more.
Yes. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's listened, and thank you to Cathy for doing her segment. Thank you to Kia Blackwood for helping us with our logo.
The logo, it's so cute.
It doesn't sit very well on like icons for accounts, so I'm probably gonna have to do some editing and try to find something that works.
Yeah, we'll find something.
Yeah, the thing I made on Canva will help a lot with promoting, but it doesn't really work as an icon.
Yeah.
But it's the first episode.
Yeah,
it's the pilot.
Live and learn. We will continue.
We can have series. And yeah, thank you again for listening, everyone. Hopefully we've not been too annoying. Join us next week. Our March series. Ooh, sorry, I'm getting like little burps.
Oh.
Join us for our March series where we'll be talking about the process of a concert. So we'll be talking about what it's like to buy the tickets, how the crowd affects it, showmanship. So just what makes a good concert with tangents.
Yeah, of course. Not a good
and examples.
Tangent.
Yeah. So thank you for listening and see you next month.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.